Pointing stuff out to you as you go up and down the river. Please do stay seated for the tour today, because if you stand up, the Captain Tim can't see where he's going, and there's plenty of things to it as we go up and down the river, so please do stay seated. I'm going to be pointing out stuff to you, hopefully making it a bit interesting and entertaining. There'll be your bad joke, because I don't really know any good ones, so it's going to be bad ones only, I'm afraid. Alright, so we're going to head up to this bridge and we're going to go underneath the bridge, and we're going to get a really good look at the new Palace of Westminster over there. Just to the right of the tower here, you can see Westminster Abbey. That area of London over there on your right is known as the City of Westminster, and it's because of that abbey, that church building there. There's been a minster on that site for over 1,000 years, and it's to the west of London, so that's why it's known as the City of Westminster over there, because of that cathedral that goes back over 1,000 years. Now, the new Palace of Westminster here, called the new Palace, was one night in 1834. The old one caught fire and virtually burned to the ground, and then was rebuilt, and that's what you're looking at there. The new Palace finished in 1864. Now, let's give them a wave up on this bridge. Come on, Ben. Hello, bridge, hello. See, every time when you're in London, you'll get a wave with waving to a complete stranger, right? So much so that one bloke actually got arrested and spent the night in jail for excessive cheering, and that's how unhappy they were to see this bloke burn, but everyone was celebrating it. And then he was finished over the next 30 years, like I say, in 1864. Now there's two Parliament buildings in here. Immediately on your right now is the House of Lords, and the Lords sitting down the red benches. Behind you is the House of Commons, and the MPs sit in that chamber, and they sit on green benches. From the House of Lords into the House of Commons to arrest 5 MPs because they wouldn't put his taxes up. But by going from the Lords into the Commons, it was seen as an abuse of the King's power and privilege, and it put him at war with Parliament. The war lasted for 7 years. The King lost the war in 1649, and he also lost his head. He had his head chopped off. So since that date of 1642, no King or Queen has ever gone past this central tower here on your left-hand side and entered this area ahead of us. It didn't end well for their family, so they just stay out of there now. And then the last tower on site, the one with the big clock on it, all illuminated now. You all know the name of that, don't you? It's world famous, you've all come to see it. Everyone knows what it's called. So on 3, let's shout out what that is called, all right? Loud and proud, people. Warm us up. Ready? I'm going to tell you. 1, 2, 3. Came second. What did we will see as we go down the river? The British Airways, or BA as they know, they like the design of this wheel that much that they paid for that as a private venture. This is the oldest thing you've ever seen in London. This stone needle over here is Cleopatra's needle, older than London itself, over 3,500 years old. It was gifted to us by the Egyptians for our help in defending Napoleon at the Battle of the Nile of 1798. At the bottom of it, there's 2 sphinxes, those lion-like creatures. They're actually facing the wrong way. They're meant to face out to ward off evil spirits. They didn't come with instructions. The Victorians bugged it up there, the police have come through what they did, but then someone came along up and said, no, they need turning round. They're inviting evil into the column instead of scaring it away. But it was too late, the concrete had set and it's had to stay there ever since, facing the wrong way. We're filling it up with evil. Yeah, there's good evil in the pot. Yeah, there we go. Well, so alright, Daddy. concrete car parking building all the way up there on the blue, so they're trying to sign up. This is Britain's National Theatre, the most important theatre in Britain. But it's also known as Britain's ugliest building, because that was opened in 1976 by Charlie Boy, Prince Charles. And he loves architecture, so when I opened that, they said to him on live TV, what do you think of this place there? And he said, I hate it. It looks like the back end of the New York power station. He's got no right to look in the world with it. 2 years after it opened, there was a favourite in the UK for us as a public to nominate the nation's ugliest building. And we all voted for that because of what Charlie Boy said about it. And now that he's kicked Charles, that building has actually won that vote another 5 times. Because our king don't like it, we always vote for it now. A nice and prettier building coming up here on your right. This building with a tower above, with the letters OXO in the windows there, that's the home of Thames British company that opened this in 1931, but nothing known. Unbelievably, we just brought in for a case article, they just kept their strong advertising. It's the only thing you'll see on the river today. I went up. But some people say the judge never worked again because he became a bit off and laughing stock. So there's not many Brits on here though. That is a definite bad British joke, okay? I'll bear that one in mind. Now over here on the left you've got the Dome of St Paul's Cathedral, the 5th version of the cathedral. This one was built after the Great Fire and it was finished in 1711. The guy who designed it is Sir Christopher Wren, famous British architect. When he built this, that 60-foot cross on the top bit, that ain't what he wanted to put up there. Because when this building opened, we was the richest nation on earth. And what had just become available in Britain back then were pineapples. And if you had one, you was incredibly wealthy, because one would cost you £5,000 in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. A 60-foot golden pineapple on the top of that to show off how wealthy we were as the richest nation in the world. Well, the church there on another, and I didn't come across up there. But if you look to the left of the dome, you can see the 2 clock towers, which are the entrance to St Paul's Cathedral, and on the top of each one of them is a 6-foot high golden pineapple. You've got his whiskers, the fact we've got his pineapples on his building, and that is real gold up there. That ain't gold paint, that is real gold on those pineapples. Like I say, one could cost you £5,000 back then. Now, coming to view here, this bridge, this is what led the Merlin London Eye to be the nation's landmark for the millennium, the year 2000. The Millennium Bridge, but known as Wobbly Bridge. Because on day one, this bridge was a disaster. As people walked across, the bridge got this really violent movement on it. See if we get away. Hello on the bridge. Hello. Got a really violent movement on it. People started falling over. The bridge was only open for 2 days because they had so many people fall over. They had 2 broken legs and 1 broken hip in just those 2 days. Cameras said they're all day every day. They had to shut the bridge for safety girls and keep it shut for over 2 years until they could engineer out all the movement on it and then reopened in a blaze of glory. Renamed it the Blade of Light, but we still call it Wobbly Bridge. Now on your right there, you've got Shakespeare's Globe. Not the original, that one opened in 1997. The original opened in 1599. I was just off to the left of that one, behind that pub. And they discovered the remains of the original in the 1950s, clearing bomb damage, and then they used it to create that exact carbon copy over there. So that is an exact replica of the original Shakespeare's Globe. I'll tell you a bit more about it on the way back. Now, we all come down to the Thames that comes to this lovely little pub over here on the right, all lit up here. This brick window building here, the Antics Tavern, one of the oldest pubs in London. It's been a pub on that site for over 700 years. And on Sunday, September the 2nd, 1666, famous English diarist, a guy called Samuel Pepys, sat in there on watch the Great Fire of London start. He see the fire start when he was in there. It started their city being rebuilt around them. It's 311 steps to the top, 202 feet high exactly. When I was a kid, I used to go there for free with my granddad, but now it's £6. But you do get the best views of the best bridge in all of the world when you're up there. The one you can see now coming into view, the world-famous London Bridge, yeah? And here it is, folks, you're going under it. This is London Bridge. This one here. So it blends in with the Tower of London, which is over there on your left-hand side. That is much, much older. First built in 1078 by William the Conqueror. It's what gives the bridge its name. The bridge is a Bascule bridge, which means a drawbridge, seesaw in French. So the bit in the middle here that we're looking at, that lifts up to allow tall ships to pass through underneath. And it all ends without too much drama, a couple of times a day on average now. It used to be 25 times a day when that bridge first opened. But one night, 1952, Albert Gunkel was driving the 78 double-decker bus across here. And what Albert didn't know was that the bridge was due to open. There's some traffic lights on the right-hand side there. When he got there, they should have been red to tell him to stop, but they weren't working. So Albert just carried on. When he got to this centre bit ahead of us, all of a sudden, him and his passengers, they were no longer going forward, they were going up, because this bridge started to open beneath it. He didn't know what to do, so he floored it. His bus accelerated, cleared the 12-foot gap and landed safely on the other side. He was hailed a national hero. He was given 10 whole English pounds and a day off of work as a reward. Let's give a wave up on the bridge. Hello on the bridge. Hello. You always get a wave off of this bridge. See, all those smiley, happy people, they are clearly not from around here, I can tell you. Yeah, you're going to turn to the left and you get the main shot of the day, the Tower Bridge on your left-hand side with the city skyline. So yeah, so that's a true story about Albert Gunkel driving his bus across there. Here comes one now, and like I say, it opened up and he jumped the 12-foot gap. The nicest thing about that story, though, is that actually on the bus there were two people due to get married later on that month. And Albert picked up the bride on her wedding day in that very self-same London double-decker bus, and he drove her to the church on her wedding day. My favourite true story about that bridge, actually. Now we're going to come back through the bridge. The reason we were getting waves from everyone on Tower Bridge is that is a true Edwardian tradition, this is. Since this bridge has opened, anyone who's left this port has always waved to people up on the bridge, because it used to be that sailors would leave here and they wouldn't return for 5 years. So they'd come up into the top deck of their boats, everyone had waved to them, they'd wave to them back, and that would give them 5 years good luck to bring them safely back to the port. So we're taking part in the true Edwardian tradition there. Now the old wind's picking up a bit. If you do want to go downstairs, be my guest. And I'll tell you about how you can actually double all that good luck you've been getting today, involving this place that we're right over here, the Tower of London. Come to London, make sure you do a tour of the tower, because if you don't, you're missing out, actually. In there, live and work the King's bodyguards, the young walkers, or the we were prominent for. They do free tours around there, brilliant thing to do, and at the end of your tour, there's a London legend, which is, if you give the yeoman warder at the end of the tour a tip, then you can get 10 winners. In fact, folks, guess what? Not just the yeoman warder, the London legend is, if you tip any London warder, 10 years of elections. Now over here on your left, this skyscraper, this is the tallest building in Western Europe. Never been a building taller in the United Kingdom. That's the maximum height that we're allowed to build here, because any taller it would have been that is just over 1,000 feet high, so 1,007 feet high. In there, offices. Recently, an apartment was up for sale up there for 78 million pounds. But for that, you can't open a window, and you ain't allowed a cat. But you can live above London Bridge Station. I'm not so sure why you wanted to be there, because for me, that's the wrong side of the river. I don't even know what I put that. I come from this side of London, on your right-hand side, East London, and we never go over here because there ain't nothing here. Now, you can see the monument over there on the right. Like I said, that gives the best views of London. The monument is exactly 202 feet high. And it's that high because it's built on the site of the very first church that was burned during the Great Fire of London. The fire Now this London Bridge, this one dates from 1973. The previous London Bridge, the old Victorian one, that was starting to sink and needed replacing. So we put that one up for sale. We built this one. And an American guy stepped in, William P. McCulloch of McCulloch Oil, Lake Havasu in Arizona. He bought the old London Bridge for $2.5 million and took it lock, stock and barrel back to Lake Havasu in Arizona, which is where that bridge now sits to this day. But the previous London bridges were all here, where there's a gap here on your right hand side between these two buildings. This is where the very first London Bridge was put by the Romans 2,000 years ago. Because this was as far as the tide came in back then, and it was how they got goods in and out of the country for free on the tide. So when you're looking at the monument, you're in the exact spot where the Romans put their very first London Bridge, right here. So you know the famous nursery rhyme, London Bridge is falling down? Yeah? We all sang it as kids, didn't we? We go, London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady. Yeah? Well, you sing the falling down bit 3 times because 3 London bridges have fallen down in London's history. So that's why you repeat the chorus line 3 times. So like I say, this one, 1973, all lit up of an evening, but it's as dull as ditch water in comparison to the other one that is now over in America. Yeah, we've got the really bland, boring one, they've got the real pretty one. Now, on your left, Southwark Cathedral. Dates back to well past William Shakespeare's time, dates all the way back to the 1500s. A certain John Hard. Now this bridge ahead of us, you all know this bridge, and that's because you've seen the film Mary Poppins. In the film, Mr. Banks, the father of the 2 kiddies, he goes missing because he gets a sack, he gets a tin tag from his job, and in the film it looks like he throws himself off a London Bridge. So they go searching for him on London Bridge in the film. But actually in the film, they ain't on London Bridge, they're on this bridge, Southwark Bridge. And that's because when Walt Disney visited the UK in the late 1940s, he didn't like London Bridge, he thought he was great and important, so he used this one to film instead. And now, when the London Bridge appears in the Walt Disney film, they can use this bridge for continuity. So when you left over here, you do a job of making it sound like thunder, but also put the cannonball straight through the thatched roof, set fire to the place and throw it to the ground. It was only there for 14 years. They really did bring the house down with that performance over there. They ain't getting any better. But thankfully there's only about another 20 minutes to go, alright? So on your left over there you've got the 330-foot brick chimney of the old Bankside power station in London. Just give a wave up there. Oh, the bridge. He used to produce it. He used to produce electricity for London until 1975, and it was shut down and then sat there empty for 25 years until the year 2000, when it opened up as the Tate Modern, the biggest modern art gallery in the entire world. Like it says on it, it's free to do. I've been in here and had a look at all of that modern art in there. Oh my days, honestly. Not my cup of tea. Really is some weird random stuff. But they've got a great cocktail bar on the top floor, lovely river and great views of course the food. But as for that modern art, honestly, even after I've given that cocktail a good bashing, I still thought that guy I was looking at is a bit weird and random. It was so it used to be a monastery that was there all the way through to the time of King Henry VIII. Those monks that lived and worked in the monastery over there, they had to wear black gowns, so that's why they were known as the Black Friars, and that's why they were called Sea Containers Hotel. The reason they've got their brand name up the top of that is because, like Oxford, they've been covered with the performance of this building went bankrupt. So the building then sat there empty for the best part of 20 years until the early 2000s when it opened up as a hotel and called it Sea Containers Hotel. But the company name is not Sea Containers, and that's what they're bars, restaurants, cocktail bars, over there, and not too badly priced either, actually. They're much cheaper over there than they are on the other side of the road in the West End. And it's still expensive, but it's not as expensive as it was. And there's a lot more choice of gallery and museum over there now. All free to go in, well worth a visit actually. There's a lot of things in London that are free if you pick them out right and you can have a good look around. Now this bridge that we're coming up to, this is Waterloo Bridge, the longest bridge on the River Thames this, and it's got the nickname of the Ladies' Bridge. This bridge was built completely by women during World War II. This bridge opened in 1942, built completely by the Women's Land Army, hence the nickname, the Ladies' Bridge. And it's ironically enough, it's the only bridge in all of London's history that opened on time and under budget. So it goes to show, if you want something done, you want it done right, you know who to call, don't you? And it's clearly not Ghostbusters, it's the women. As we come out of the bridge, on the right-hand side, you're going to see the world-famous London Savoy Hotel. London's first, and in actual fact, the world's first purpose-built luxurious hotel. This building over here on the right now is Single Flower on the top of it, that opened in the late 1880s. Anyone famous? And they'll also allow you to speak to the hotel therapy team at any time during your stay. So even they're saying to you, if you're mad enough to do 54 grand for 3 nights, you really do need to speak to someone about it. And they've got a bit of appointment, so you've got these nads of to do that. Now, we're coming up to every London borough. But if you get on there and you find yourself on 30, don't do it. It doesn't seem to be it's because when I remember this, when this happened, this was really funny. When they opened this, they stupidly put a pot 13 on. But we don't do 13 in the line, it's very bad luck. The street I grew up in, we even got 13 in the line. So it caused chaos, because everyone kept refusing to get in pot 13. So they had to get rid of pot 13 in the end. So now it goes 10, 11, 12, 33, 14, 15, 16. And everyone gets in pot 33, completely unaware that it's really pot 13. But that's how they got round it for all of our superstitious guests. And this has also got a massive connection to romance system. Since this opened, there's been over 8,000 marriage proposals. Wow, indeed, yeah? But, and there's always a but with romance, isn't there, yeah? There's also been 20 rejections. It takes half hour to go round. You're never on your own out there when you get mucked off. And they give you a lovely little photo of it in the end as well, actually. It used to be 19 until a certain date in February this year. It didn't go his way. He became number 20. So yeah. He was pretty gay. So was I. I had to update my commentary. It ain't easy remembering all this stuff. Right, so sadly, folks, we're coming towards the end of the tour now. Please do stay seated until we get tied up, because it does get a bit bouncy. I'll let you know when it's safe to leave the boat, and then when the old gangplank comes down, I'll see you at the stairs, bottom of the stairs to leave. I've been the last person who sees you leave the boat today. When you leave the boat today, you get an opportunity to leave a review on today's tour. There's a QR code over there, you can scan that, or go on the feedback buttons there, leave a review. And like I said to you at the start, I'm trying to make your commentary